One moment. Okay.
No, I can say good morning.
Oh, okay. We can't proceed with
That's what's good about it.
forward.
Okay. Well, good morning again.
Shut the door.
This morning is December 12th, and we are meeting as the Jefferson City Board of Adjustment. My name is Jim Crabtree. I'm actually vice chair. The chair has retired. But I'd like our members to go ahead and introduce themselves.
Roy Michael. Brad Schaefer.
Young, also liaison.
Enrique, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate that. Staff members, may I please have you introduce yourselves since your name tags are not accurate.
Courtney Blitz, City Planner.
Eric Barron, Planning Manager.
Clint Smith, Planning and Protective Services Director.
Sean McCall, Associate City Attorney.
Thank you very much. We're going to go through some procedural matters, and one is determination of a quorum. And as you've heard, we have 4 members, voting members attending, and Missouri law requires we have 4 affirmative votes to cast any approval for the matter before us. And we will proceed in that matter. We may have a straggler come in. A quorum is comprised of 4 members. Alternates are included in that. So I will declare that a quorum is present. Are there any members with us that are disqualified from voting on the matter before us? Great. So the voting members will be myself, Catherine, and Roy Michael, and Michael Eichner?
Brad Schaefer.
Brad Schaefer. I'm sorry, I blanked. Thank you, Brad. So, is there an applicant or representatives present for case B24007, 530 Algoa Road, requesting a conditional use permit? If you are, raise your hand. Thank you very much. Are there any requests to reorder our agenda today?
No, there's not.
Great. All testimony and evidence shall be submitted to the board under oath. At this time, for all of those who wish to speak or give testimony, please raise your right hand and rise. Do you solemnly swear to affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Yes.
And the answer is I do.
I do.
Yes is affirmative. City staff, please read the format of the hearing and the list of exhibits.
Thank you, Ms. Chair. I would like to briefly describe the procedures of the board. The proceedings of the meeting are being recorded, so please project your voice when speaking and give your name and address for the record. The standard order of each case is as follows. After introduction of the request by city staff, the applicant or their consultant will provide information on the request. The opening presentation by the applicant shall be limited to 10 minutes unless additional time is granted by the board. The applicant shall have an additional 3 minutes for closing testimony if requested. We will then ask to hear from supporters of the request. We will then ask to hear from opponents of the request. We will then ask to hear from anyone else who wishes to speak on the request. Testimony shall be limited to 3 minutes unless additional time is granted by the board. City staff will then give the recommendations on the request. In order to reduce the time necessary to hear an application, references to printed materials, including staff reports and applicable findings, shall not be read into the record unless directed by the board. The board will close testimony from the floor. The board will discuss the proposal, then publicly make a determination with reasons. The form motion shall be positive, that is if the motion shall be made to accept the request as presented or with modifications, stipulations, or conditions. If 4 or more votes are cast in favor of the motion is approved. If 3 or less votes are cast in favor of the motion is denied. The following documents are entered exhibits for all items under consideration at this meeting. The city code of the City of Jefferson as amended, the comprehensive plan and land use map, copies of applications under consideration, a list of property owners whose notices were sent, the affidavit of publication of the public notice in the newspaper, copies of drawings, plans, and/or renderings under consideration, a list, letters or memoranda from staff reports, minutes of proceedings, correspondence, or other materials submitted by the public or the applicant, rules of procedure for the Jefferson City Board of Adjustment. These items are public record and available for inspection through the Department of Planning and Protective Services or through the Office of the City Clerk. Please be advised that any items that are presented, distributed, or otherwise received pertaining to the cases under consideration become the property of the board. This includes any photographs, drawings, petitions, and letters. Thank you, Ms. Chair.
Thank you. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda as printed, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Can I have a motion to adopt the minutes of the October 8th, 2024 meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Staff, has any correspondence been received?
No.
Great. So the hearing before us, case number B24007 at 5530 Algoa Road for a conditional use permit. A request filed by Ameren, property owner, for a conditional use permit to construct an additional electrical substation on said property. The property is located on the south side of Algoa Road, 1,000 feet from Nishas Bluff Road? How do you say that? Or is it spelled wrong? And is described as part of U.S. Private Survey number 2680, Township 44 North, Range 11 West, in the city of Jefferson, Cole County. City staff, please proceed with an introduction to this case.
Thank you, Ms. Chair. The subject property, 5530 Algoa Road, is outlined in blue on the screen and is zoned M1 light industrial as well as RS1 single-family residential and contains utility operations including the Morrill substation. Also within the blue outline is an orange square which identifies where the applicant is proposing, or approximately where they would propose an additional electric substation to be called J substation. And surrounding property uses and zoning includes the following. To the north, it is zoned M1 light industrial and RS1 low density residential and RU rural, with uses including a contractor tree shop, same for the residential, as well as agriculture. To the east is zoned RS1 low density residential, with there being agricultural use. To the south is RU rural, with there being agricultural use, and then adjacent zoning to the west is RS1 low density residential, with there being agricultural use. This is a closer up aerial image of the site, with it again outlined in blue, and then the orange square identifying approximately where they are proposing to put a new substation. This substation is a conditional use within every standard zoning district within the zoning code under section 35-28. Therefore, it requires a conditional use permit. Conditional uses are those that are deemed, essentially those are deemed uses that could be permitted somewhere, but due to their operation, site layout, and etc., they may need conditions placed upon them to help mitigate, to do things such as mitigate their impact on not only the site, but also the adjacent properties to that site. The board is the entity responsible for reviewing and then deciding upon conditional use permits. And in that review of the conditional use permit are findings which look into an array of criteria, which includes the uses, whether or not it would comply and would help facilitate the goals and intent of the comprehensive plan, and then also whether or not that use would comply with all city regulations, including those of the zoning code, and then what would be that use's impact on surrounding property as well as site property and its character, and then the impact on safety, traffic, and are there adequate utilities available to serve this use? The applicant has supplied responses to those findings, which is located in the case packet and application material. And then staff has also provided notes on those findings, also located in the staff report in the case packet. Also on this site, you'll note a drive there, a gravel drive towards the south of that the current substation, Morrow substation. Here's one of the plans submitted by the applicant. Here's a couple notes on the proposed new substation, which would be called again J substation, is that there would be a new gravel drive which would connect into the existing drive and would form a loop into the compound area. There is a 7-foot chain link fence which would surround a approximately 2 1/3 acre compound area. This fence would be 7-foot tall chain link fence topped with 1-foot barbed wire. And the site also, so briefly I forgot, the site does briefly touch the floodplain on the southern portion of the site. It is not below the base flood elevation, so but it would need a floodplain development permit, which is being administered by the Public Works Department. And final notes on this plan is that traffic going into the site is anticipated to be low. And essentially, so this is an equipment plan submitted by the applicant. And they can go further deeper into the equipment side and the functions of the site, but essentially they have in the case packet materials, they've submitted a project narrative detailing why Ameren deems this new substation necessary, and they go into detail about a loss to both the transformers at the current Morrow substation, which could impact their combustion turbine generator, their CTG, and so the applicant go further into detail about those such things. But again, to wrap it up, they're requesting a condition use permit to permit a new electric substation, and because this such use is a conditional use in all zoning districts, the condition use permit is required. Those are some initial details on the request. Thank you, Ms. Chair.
Thank you. Staff or board members, do you have any questions for staff on the presentation? Who would like to present this case?
Zachary Clowers, Ameren, and then list address is 1901 Shadow Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri. So, yeah, generally, I think very well done presenting the project. I'll just add a few notes here. So, this project consists of building a 4-position ring bus named Jay's Substation to be located on the adjacent parcel to our existing Morrow substation. This project was deemed necessary as currently the loss of the 161 kilovolt Guthrie to Mariosa 1 line would result in the loss of both transformers at Morrow substation, and this would result in an outage of the 161 kV outlet to the Morrow combustion turbine generator. Installation of the proposed Jay's substation would eliminate the risk of losing energy to the entire Morrow substation and increases the overall operability of the transmission system and reliability of the Morrow combustion turbine generator and the 23 megawatts of load for our customers. And I'll go into a little bit of detail of our construction timeline. So ideally, following, assuming everything goes well with the permitting process, vegetation clearing would be the first order of business, and we're planning to do that sometime prior to spring of 2025, which will allow us to install our proposed temporary transmission line shoe fly, which is a relocation around the proposed Jay's substation area. And then following that vegetation clearing, we would take an outage in order to install that shoe fly. And then following that in the summer of 2025, Our awarded civil contractor, which is yet to be determined at this time, will proceed with installation of erosion control measures and site development, and then erection of the fence. After that has been completed, in the fall of 2025, we'll proceed with below-grade electrical construction activities, which includes trenching, grounding, conduit, and foundation installation. And then in the spring of 2026, we'll install the new electrical equipment, including breakers, structural steel, control enclosure, and other electrical equipment, with our intent to energize the station no later than June 1st, 2026. I would like to add a couple of additional notes in here. So we will take great care to protect the neighboring properties from construction activities, including erosion control and street cleaning. Our drainage plan has been provided in the site development drawing package to show our intent for surfacing surrounding the substation, which will include seeding, rocking, riprap, depending on the terrain. It's also worth noting that we are planning to install a detention basin, and in-depth analysis was completed to show that the flow rate off-site after construction will be less than the flow rate off-site currently. The details of that have been submitted additionally with the floodplain permit. And one other thing I just wanted to throw out there, so the existing substation, Morrow substation, has a low point elevation of 590, and the high point at Jay's substation will be 574. So the new site will be approximately 15 feet or greater below the existing site, and then all of our equipment or structural steel is actually shorter than what we have installed at Morrow. So as far as public view, it should be generally out of view from the main Algoa Road. But that's all I have.
Okay. Are there questions? All right now. What is the service area for this substation generally?
I don't know if one of you guys would be able to speak to that better.
Well, there's a distribution portion that serves all the surrounding area. But there's also a network transmission portion that is higher voltage lines that connect in and provide, I guess, reliability in the event of outages that could go any number of places, for surrounding miles.
So it's important.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If we could get your name and address, or.
Sorry, Jeff Scott, also from Ameren, 1901, Choteau Ave, St. Louis.
Thank you. And then your stormwater and floodplain permits are underway?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
That application has been submitted.
Okay. Well, thank you. If there are no other questions? Well, I don't see any, but I will ask, is there anybody who'd wish to speak in favor of this request additionally? Is there anybody that would like to speak in opposition to this request? Well, seeing none?
That's just the third question. Anybody else who wants to speak for any matter?
Is there anybody else like to speak for any other matter?
Thank you.
Christmas. All right. Let's close the testimony at this time. And city staff, could you present the staff report?
So staff has analyzed and looked into and reviewed this request for conditional permit and looked into the findings, again, that look into whether or not the use would facilitate the goals and purpose of the comprehensive plan, and then also its impact on health, safety, traffic, and character and use of not only the site but also adjacent properties, and then also whether or not there are adequate utilities available to serve that use. And staff has found that the use would help facilitate the comprehensive plan's goals and purpose to help increase and facilitate utility infrastructure within the community, and then Staff found this use to appear to be compatible with the surrounding mixture of low density and industrial uses in the area, and that there are adequate utilities available to serve this use. There is a single form of motion for this, which would be a motion to approve the condition of permit for this new substation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any questions for staff regarding this matter? Seeing none, would someone like to make a motion?
I move to approve the conditional use permit for case number 24007.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote? And I guess I will do that.
Courtney's got it.
Courtney, thank you.
Sorry. Okay, so Crabtree
Yes.
and Lacey,
Yes.
Schaefer,
Yes.
Seaver, or is he not? He's not here, sorry. Michael.
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you very much for your time and your presentation and 2.5-hour drive here.
Mr. Chair, can we have just 1 minute to confirm?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I like the fact it's called the J substation instead of Blair Oaks or Lights. Seems like a pretty totally non-controversial and necessary thing. I mean, for all Ameren customers.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Are there any miscellaneous reports before us?
No.
No.
Other business?
See, staff updates. I'm not sure I have any updates to give the board. It's the holiday season. I hope everyone's well positioned for that. Under the other item of other business is election officers. Of course, it was a couple meetings ago. Mr. Drew Hake had resigned, and so Mr. Crabtree is serving as vice chair right now. It is up to the board. It's already been delayed once, election officers. But it's up to the board on how to proceed with election officers today. You could move it to another meeting. A little light on attendance today, but it has been a couple months. So I'll let you proceed how you wish.
What is the sentiment of the board?
I'm fine either way, but I think we have less people here today than we did last time when we voted, when we decided to delay the vote. But if we want to vote today, I'm fine with that too.
I don't mind either way. I think I know what I want.
Or-
I know pretty much where I sit on this, so, you know, doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I'm good with whatever.
We have enough voting members.
All very agreeable to do whatever.
Chair will be able to vote.
We're looking for 2 positions, chair,
Vice
vice chair.
Look, can we do it? You just said that. We can do it.
Yeah.
You can proceed.
I think we should. Get it out of the way. I mean, that's my opinion.
Okay, well, let's, for vice, start with vice. Well, no, let's start. Where should we start? At the bottom or the top?
Probably chair.
Do you want to be chair still?
I will accept that.
That's fine.
I'll approve that.
All right, so
Jim Crabtree.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Make a motion.
I make a motion for Jim Crabtree to be our next chairman
I'll
of the Board
second.
of Adjustment.
Thank you for the vote of confidence. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. For vice chair,
I would serve as vice chair unless someone else.
I was going to nominate you.
I
So,
was going to nominate Katie anyway,
Yeah.
so I'll make a motion to nominate Katie Lacey for vice chair of the Board of Adjustment.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I vote two?
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
That brings to a close the business before us, and I would like to thank everyone for coming and declare this meeting adjourned.
Meeting next month.
Nick, do we have anything before you?
I think so. We have an application filed, but I think there's a minor issue with it. If it can be resolved, then we would put it on the agenda. That's not-
What's the exact date on that? 'Cause I'll be out of town.
It's the second Tuesday of January.
Yeah,
I think it's the 14th.
14?
14.
yeah, I'll be out of town then. Whatever.
Okay. If you could remind us when the email comes out.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
And, other than that, again, thank you for your service. It's an important role, even on a quiet meeting. And I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe holiday.
You too.